blah, blah,
There we go.
working around the bugs. Where is the stream? Is the stream starting? Where is the stream?
Actually wasn't using the good mic. Now it is.
Ah, yes. Now you are loud and clear. Stream,
Good.
Stream
I'm like, what's the
going?
point of having it in front of you if it's just still using the crappy normal one? Onboard mic. Stupid.
Is the stream working? What the hell?
Stupid setups need the most attention.
There we go. Okay. Took a while for the stream to start up, but we are streaming. All right. And then Dementia Radio.
Oh, is this live?
Yes, it is. Live on Twitch.
Is there a link?
Yeah.
Is there a link that
Devo?
it should...
Yes.
Devo.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, I need to restart my computer, but go ahead and start the show. I'll be there as I'm done.
Okay.
Could you maybe email me that link?
I can.
Thank you.
You know, I'm just going to reply all to this other... All right, I just replied to all of you, so you all got it. Yeah, it's twitch.tv/the_FuMP. Let me know when you're ready. I'll start recording.
Just asking if somebody else in the band can share that while I'm doing this for you. And now I'm looking for the link. Did you email it to me or is it in the chat?
I just emailed it to you. I can put it in the chat too if that's easier.
No, just there it is. Twitch. Copy link.
John, is it possible for you to turn your mic down a bit? You are substantially louder than the other three.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I could switch back to the onboard mic if we really need to, but I just took the gain down a bit. Let me know if that's good enough for you.
We'll see what happens when the other three chime in. Okay. Oh, my internet sucks. That's why the stream took so long to get started. All right. Well, that's fine. Nothing I can do about that. All right. So recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by TheFump.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hello, everybody. You guys heard that intro music, right?
A little bit.
Little bit?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you can hear it because I had to reinstall Soundflower. Luke will be joining us. He'll be right back. He had to reboot his machine. Everyone's having technical difficulties this evening for some reason. Welcome to episode... Where is it? Episode 641 of the Funny Music Podcast for September 29th, 2022. Title of this week's episode is Sparkling Fan. And your job is to work that into our conversations this evening somehow, should you choose to accept that. So, as soon as Luke gets back, we'll get caught up with him. In the meantime, we have the Belle Isle Rats on the show. Welcome back, guys.
Hey.
And newcomer John Allen from Bonehenge. How you doing, John?
Oh, me. Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Bonehenge.
Yeah. So
it's a henge made of bone.
I'm going to apologize in advance if I ever say Bone Cage, because we have another FuMP artist named Bone Cage who does some really funny stuff. But he hasn't done anything in a little while.
I sense a feud.
Yeah. And there's also another John Allen. The guy who runs sound at Marscon is named John Allen. I think it's spelled the same.
Oh, that's ridiculous. See, I'll tell you, that's why I do this. I sometimes go by the John Allen to kind of differentiate myself from the imposters out there.
Yeah. We should get you guys out to Marscon and you can duke it out on stage.
I mean, I don't insist upon it, but yeah, that's fine.
No, sometimes I have to combat the other Mike Rennickers, and Tom has to combat the other Tom Solokas out there. So I know what you're talking about.
It.
Yeah, I totally get it.
I know there's
love
at
your
least
Zizix background, by the way.
I know there's
phenomenal.
at least 3 other Tom Rockwells in New Jersey. I don't know how many else there are, but I know there's at least 3 more of me in New Jersey. Now, if I could hire them to do what I need to do and free up me for other stuff, that'd be great. But anyway,
I don't suppose they look anything like you, so
the important thing is that you rock well.
I do. I try to.
Oh.
All right, and no, Christy, the buffering is on my end. Apparently, our internet has just decided to suck tonight. So, yeah, nothing I can do. But let's do the catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Nothing other than, fighting depression and anxiety and also trying to, get things done and be practical and make plans for the future. So today is a weird day because, it's simultaneously the 6th anniversary of the TV show premiere of Mighty Magiswords, and it's also the last day it's available on Hulu. So,
well, tomorrow should be the last day, right?
Well, it says Friday, so I don't know if that means it goes away Friday or Friday is also a day you can watch it. But
okay.
Either way, it's still
because I'm planning to purchase it on Amazon because I've been meaning to. I just never got around to it. And then I'm planning to download it and burn it to a DVD and copy it like multiple times and keep it over there. And I'd like to see them reach into my house and take that away. So
don't give them ideas.
Well, fortunately, myself and Kyle, we basically, we're both, digitally hoarding, Magiswords. I mean, I personally, just because it was my first job experience and I was so into it, I wanted to hold on to like every step of every episode. So I have like, here's, here's the rough animatic with the scratch voices, and then here's the next level, and then blah, 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 then the final episode. So, but the TV episodes and all of the web stuff and app stuff we did, like between the two of us, we have all of the things. So. They can't take those away from us. We recorded an episode of the Tunes podcast yesterday, which I'll post on Sunday. And while we were recording it, I actually went to Amazon just to check that that the Mighty Magiswords episodes that I purchased way back when were still there, and they have it broken down into 4 seasons, but that's just the way they're labeling it. It's actually the 2 seasons on TV. Yep. And so it was. I haven't checked around to all of them, but back when things first started getting posted, it was on Amazon Video. It's on iTunes. It was on YouTube for purchase, and it was also on Google Play separately because back then Google Play and YouTube were 2 separate things. So I bought them at both places just because I wanted to have all of the Magiswords in all of the digital places just to be on the safe side because seemed like a crazy idea at the time, like, that maybe someday it wouldn't be available everywhere.
Yeah.
But now with what's going on with this Final Space thing, it's like, I'm not sure what the deal is. It certainly seems not right that people can, because that was the whole thing. It's like everyone gave up cable TV. Oh, everything's going to be on the internet now. Everything's going to be digital now. It's like, okay, if you're not going to print stuff on physical media for us to have at our homes and watch, then that was like the social contract was we can purchase them digitally and they'll be available digitally forever once we've purchased them. That was the deal.
Yeah, and that's my gripe with the whole issue that's come up recently is that the link says buy or purchase, which means you own it, which means they can't take it back. You're not licensing it. It doesn't say rent. It doesn't say license. It says buy, which to me says they're opening themselves up. Screw the terms of service. They're opening themselves up to a massive class action lawsuit, which I hope they get their asses handed to them on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, and I also managed to put out a Lukeski update email. So I'll report on, those things in the funny music news. It's nothing new to report. I'll just recap everything that's been going on lately. So yeah, that's pretty much me. So what have you been up to?
Well, this past weekend, I drove up to Vermont with Darren because he had an appointment to look at a college, and because he had it was a meeting with their swim coach to talk about their swim team and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, the Thursday night before we drove up early Friday morning, Thursday night I popped a tire on my car, which was like after all the tire places around me had closed. So I was like, well, and so I asked my neighbor across the street to help me change put the spare on, because he has a show car in his garage and he spends all of his free time working on it. So I'm like, yeah, it's going to take me an hour or so to change the tire because I got the manual jack and the manual twisty things. And I'm like, I go over there. He's got the professional jack. He's got the, he had the thing done in 2 minutes. So big shout out to my neighbor across the street. So we went up there, and on the way back, we stopped at the Six Flags in Lake George, which was called the Great Escape, because they had a couple of roller coasters that I had not gone on yet since the last time I was there. So I had to remedy that situation. So we did, and it was a lot of fun. They also had this, I don't know how to describe it other than this big giant flippy thing ride, which when we saw it, we were like, okay, we got to hit the roller coasters and that thing, whatever it is. It was just like this big, huge, tall thing. It's like 200 feet tall, flips you upside down as its whole thing spins around. It's pretty intense. It's pretty wild. And I also finally got around to watching This Is Gwar on Shudder, which is fantastic. If you're not familiar with it, it's just a documentary about the band, the history of the band. They interview, all the members who are still around, and talk about everything that went on, even like the behind the scenes drama and stuff. They didn't get too much into like how they make the props and stuff like that. They did mention that the fake blood is like FDA approved and hypoallergenic, so that's good. And Weird Al is interviewed in the movie, and it's funny. He tells this one story. He's like, they played some venue somewhere. He mentioned it. I forget where it was. And the venue was all apologetic and said, like, I'm sorry, you won't be able to set up for a couple more hours yet. We're still cleaning up the blood from the Gwar show last night. So, but it's really good. It's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray later in October, I think. So if you don't have Shudder, you can check it out that way. It's really good. I do recommend it if you're a Gwar fan.
I remember one of the first Gen Cons I ever went to when they were still in Milwaukee. This had to have been like 94, 95. The band was like basically on the the big dealer room floor, just walking around in their costumes. They were just hanging out. That was cool.
Yes. Well, I didn't realize it, but the movie they made, Phallus in Wonderland, which I have on VHS.
God, what a title!
Yeah, it's great. It got nominated for a Grammy, much to the dismay of the president of the Grammy Association, and they were told, like, in no uncertain terms, do not show up to the Grammys in costume. And of course, they showed up to the Grammys in costume. They lasted about 8 minutes before they got kicked out. So,
I've never heard of this band.
You've never heard of Gwar? Oh,
never. I just looked it up, and I'm seeing them in these costumes that are pretty intense.
Yeah, they're a fictional band.
Are you being sarcastic, or have you actually not heard of Gwar?
I have never heard of Gwar.
You gotta be kidding me.
We're older than you guys.
I guarantee it.
They're a heavy metal band. They are barbarians from another planet who have come to destroy the Earth, and they it's intentionally over the top, disgusting music. It's intentionally offensive. Like everything you could think of, they will throw at you. And their stage show is unrivaled. It's like they perform in those costumes. They'll have, people come out, chop off their heads, and there's blood flying everywhere. And like they will squirt blood on the audience and stuff, and other bodily fluids. It's look up some of their YouTube clips of them performing live. It's really impressive. You won't like the music and you won't like the lyrics, but check out the artistry.
I'm listening.
As someone who grew up listening to them, I'm proud to say that Techno Destructo is a buddy of mine.
Oh, is he really? Nice.
No, he turns out he's a big wrestling guy, and he got into doing that on the independent scene, which is something I also do.
Mm-hmm.
So I've actually wrestled with Techno Destructo.
Nice. Nice.
That he'll just slug the bejesus out of you with that wrench. It hurts like hell, but he's a great guy.
So wrenches are permitted in wrestling, huh? Is it a metric wrench or an English?
The show that we were both on, I mean, that's from a different one, but usually we would perform together on Sin Bodhi's Freak Show Wrestling out in Vegas. So just to give you an idea of all the weird stuff that one would do, I wrestled as Trump typically. And not so much Techno Destructo. When you got somebody from Guar, you let them be that.
Yeah, definitely. So,
cool guy.
Belle Isle Rats, what have you guys been up to?
Nothing terribly exciting on my end. Going through life. I wish I had something really exciting and compelling to say since last time, but not really. Tom, what about you? You have a nice tan. Have you been out riding around somewhere, or what have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been out, but mostly it's just been working more lately because I had to fill in for some people just selling the wine. Took some people out for a tour today. I normally wouldn't work on Thursday.
I'd prefer not to work on Thursday, but I have to sometimes.
They were pleased. It's easy when you have a beautiful property and good wine. It's like all you have to do is be a reasonable guy, and they love it.
Nice.
And you're capable of being a reasonable guy most of the time. I know.
I can be.
Sometimes you go off the rails, but most of the time you're pretty reasonable. So.
Yes, I'll come back and joke with the people. Like the manager will ask, "Well, how'd it go?" I said, "Well, I only swore at him 3 times. It was really good."
Cool. Just enduring this secondary LA heat wave. We had a really bad one 2 weeks ago. Then it kind of got nice, and now it's like, you guys are both LA, right? John and Luke, you guys are both here, yeah. So
North Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, and so you guys, I'm a piano tuner. So and what happens now is because it's so hot, I have a lot of commercial account studios and they blare the AC. They turn the AC on super duper high, and it makes all the pianos go sharp because the wire constricts when it gets cold. And so every piano is.
It's not the only thing that constricts when it gets super cold.
Damn right.
So like every piano is been super sharp. So I'm like all day, I'm like, damn, bringing them down, and then they go back up again. So that's my first world problem. Other than that, everything's pretty okay. My daughter just got another role in a school play. They're doing a Goodsman Charlie Brown. She's got the Snoopy role. She's thrilled.
Oh, nice! So, that's awesome.
Yeah. Although the tracks they gave her to sing to, it's a male lead for the track, so I had to put him in Melodyne and bring them all up like a major third so she could sing them. So, but other than that, she's thrilled. Just loves it.
I like that you're stuck on the side of the road somewhere in Nevada, and your biggest problem is that the piano wires are too tight through the AC.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
For those who are just listening on the audio, he's got a really cool Zizek Road background on his Zoom, and that's awesome.
I've one of these days I'm going to drive down. I've driven it from here to Vegas probably 200 times. I just went last week because my mother-in-law has a house there, and she's now living with us. So I have to go out to the house once a month or so just to check on everything, make sure everything's cool. And I don't know why. I just always have loved that sign.
Same, yeah. I think I stopped. If not that one, there was another one that I stopped on, and somebody just left a mattress there right off the freeway.
Yeah. I'm sure there's all kinds of
pull over, take a nap,
Yeah. I did sit on it, and then my buddy was like, "Hey, you know what they probably did on that mattress?" And then I got off of the mattress.
I think Zizix is the Norwegian word for mattress.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
There you go.
That would make sense.
According to a fact I just made up.
Yeah.
There is a story behind it. I can't remember it, but I was on the road out there with I believe our bassist in Bonehenge, and somebody in the band knew the whole deal behind why it's named that. There was a resort that was supposed to be off of that road, but look it up sometime. I remember it being interesting, just not interesting enough to be able to remember it in time for a podcast interview.
There was a guy, he had a health spa down there.
Yes, that's What it
water
was.
bath, and he was also kind of like a religious leader. He had like a little semi-cult thing going on,
Mhm.
and that went on for a long time, and then somehow that got screwed up. But the remnants of his resort are still down there, but now it's part of the California Desert Study Center. It's like official now. But all these, I still have not driven down there, but one of these days I got to do that. So anyway,
Bucket list.
exactly.
So, John, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Just got here.
So what have you been up to?
I have been watching the first episode of Mighty Magiswords on Hulu because I would like to think that maybe they don't pull the plug if there was just one more view. So I did, Luke, commit to, I'd seen some stuff on YouTube and all that, but I finally sat down and decided to take a look at it while I have the luxurious opportunity of watching it on Hulu.
Yeah, Kyle.
You're welcome.
Kyle posted a list this week of a bunch of his personal favorite episodes on his social media, and I actually too, because the way streaming TV works now is like all of the TV shows I like all come out on the same day. So then it's like I watch all those that day, and then 6 days a week I don't know what to watch. So I decided this week it's like, well, we got a week left. I haven't, sat down and watched all of the Magiswords episodes in a long time. I might as well, spend a few days running through all of them again. And just before we started this episode, I literally got to the beginning of the last episode, or the second half of the last episode. So, so yeah, it's I kind of had the same thought of like, not that I thought I would save it, but like, dang it for the if somewhere there's some bot digitally counting who's watching what, and I want it to be known that I watched the whole run of Magiswords on Hulu before it went away, if that matters at all.
I would love if some CEO is like, wow, they're really all of a sudden supply and demand, I guess. They're really watching this one guy is watching every single. Oh, it's Luke. That doesn't count.
Pretty much.
Probably
yeah.
touching himself while he. No, I'm sorry to hear that, man. It's a really cool little show. So I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere else.
Well, like I said, as far as we can tell, it's still on Amazon and iTunes and everything for people to purchase it if they want to, actually pay money for art, which is something nobody does pretty much anymore. So
there was a joke I passed kind of on the topic of streaming services unloading things for a tax break. There was a tweet that I sent over to Kyle's way a little while back. Different streaming platform, but I think the idea is the same, where he says, my skin is so clear, I started using HBO Max and it removes everything. So from an Adam MacArthur, I believe. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I found something about Zizek's Road here. According to the Google, it's famous for its spelling and for an awful movie of the same name. Now we've got to find that movie to watch it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Zizek Road is named after the community of Zizek's, which was once Camp Soda and Soda Springs.
Yep.
Okay, then.
So much buildup.
That's your educational moment on the FuMPCast this week.
Yeah.
Now you get college credit for listening to it.
That's right.
It's tax deductible.
Got a PhD now in it.
A PhD.
All right, John, so give us a quick introduction to this song. We'll give it a listen, and then we'll talk to you about it.
Okay, this is the opening track on our first album, LA Excavation. It is called T-Sex, which stands for Tyranno. Well, I don't want to spoil it. It's. I think it really gives you an idea of what our band Bonehenge is all about. So enjoy.
27 million years or so on an island called Laramia lived a predator, ruler of the dinosaurs, a 40-foot long carnivore, the apex of reptilia. Fighting over territory, rivals were competing for a mate they could impress. When she was feeling in the mood and pheromones had been exuded, guess what happened next? Tyrannosaurus Rex. Flirtatious, vivacious, with curves in all the right places. She had legs for days, this piece of tail from the late Cretaceous. Now they were down to get freaky, start propagating the species. His arms didn't have much reach, so he grabbed her tight with his giant teeth. Fighting over territory, rivals were competing for a mate they could impress. When she was feeling in the mood and pheromones had been exuded, guess what happened next? Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Very
And
nice.
scene.
Scene, indeed.
Thank you.
So, since this is your first time on the show, why don't you give us the full introduction, who you are, where you're from, what you do, all that good stuff.
My name is John Allen. I'm a voice actor for animation, video games, anime by trade. Also do on-camera stuff. I also wrestle. And when I'm not doing that, I sing about dinosaurs having relations. From San Diego, California, originally. Stand-up comic as well. Although I've, taken a little bit easy on that lately, kind of the Omicron breakouts and all everything. But yeah, that's part of my background as well. So, I hadn't planned on joining a comedic dinosaur band, but I've got a musician friend by the name of Ian Lucky who this idea for Bonehenge was part of his concept, along with Cece's, our accordionist. And tail end of 2017 or beginning of 2018, he came to me with this idea, and he said, John, I'm putting together this funny dinosaur rock band. Would you have any interest in trying out for being the front man? And I think the way I put it was, well, I've tried just about everything else to be famous. So yeah, let's try out for this. And it was between me and a talented young lady whose name escapes me at the moment. They liked what I brought to the table, and we just got to work,
So I haven't seen you guys perform live, although Luke has.
How dare you?
Do you perform like in costume, like Guar, or?
We do. In fact, it's funny you bring up Guar. I like to think of us as like, hey, if you like Guar, but you wish it was like all about dinosaurs. So what Cece is just an amazing costume person. What she created and what really sold me on the idea of incorporating this into how I spend my time was we have these dinosaur heads that we wear, the skulls, dinosaur skulls, and the eyes light up red.
Nice.
So it makes for a pretty fun stage show. And we keep evolving it and adding to it. At this expo we just did in San Jose, we debuted a mic stand, which is like a spine that has our name written down it.
Nice.
So Yeah,
very nice,
really fun.
One thing I like, because each member of the band is a different dinosaur. What I like is that the drummer is the Brachiosaurus. So because the drummer's sitting down, his headgear is like the long Brachiosaurus neck,
and it
so
barely fits in some of the places. Yeah.
So basically, the head on the Brachiosaurus makes him just as tall as everybody else standing in front of him. Technically,
that's great.
Pretty cool.
We have a fun promo shoot we did this spring where his car has a sunroof. So like he's in the driver's seat and it's poking through the sunroof. I thought that was a really cool photo.
It's very Flintstones.
Yeah.
That's cool. I got to see you guys perform. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, well, what are you doing October 29th, I believe?
That's my son's birthday and I'm in New Jersey and
well, cancel that.
I mean,
he does
like dinosaurs. So maybe we can fly to California and see you guys.
I think so. I think that's reasonable. I mean, the radioactive chicken heads will also be there.
Oh,
so,
nice.
A little bang for your buck.
Excellent.
Yeah, we had our first show with them at Corbin Bowl a couple of months back, which is cool because I've known about them for about a decade. Mm-hmm. So one of those things where like I never set out to be. I always thought like if I did anything with the chicken heads, it would be like doing stand up to open for them or being told to get away from our car.
Yeah.
But it was cool to actually be on the same bill as them with a band with a similar comedic vibe to it.
That's awesome.
Wow. I'm thinking T-Rex sex would have to be pretty spirited because they can't masturbate with those stubby arms.
No, that's part of the lyrics is that he, couldn't really his arms. It's hard to remember it all unless I go through the entire song like an OCD thing. But yeah, tried to grab her, but he couldn't reach. So we
actually have another song.
It's like
on
when
the
you were
FuMP.
playing it,
We actually have another song
that?
on the FuMP about that, about how T-Rexes can't masturbate. It's by Nuclear Bubble Wrap.
Oh wow! Well,
so,
we'll
see,
have
it all
to
comes
do a
full
show with them
circle
at some
here.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So, I assume not all of your songs are about dinosaur sex, but maybe.
But a good chunk.
Chunk
of them. We got some of them are about dinosaurs smoking weed, so there's that.
Okay.
Actually, that one, just one. That's Herbivore. But we got a number of different ones, and we're actually working on our second album right now. We're in the process of recording it. So some of the newer stuff we've performed this year, and we changed up our sound a little bit. We bid adieu to we had a parting of ways with our saxophonist, and this gave us the chance, and also our guitarist. So we brought on Brandon, who's been great. So it has a little bit more of a harder edge to it now, I feel, which I like because I've always been more of a metalhead than like a ska or a gypsy punk guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're recording new stuff to reflect that.
Oh, cool.
But you had a question? I didn't mean to interrupt.
I did not. No, I'm just kind of babbling here and wandering around. I'm just wondering, like, I mean, there's a lot of material to write about dinosaurs, but like, you only write about dinosaurs, right?
Pretty much. That's sort of the underlying theme behind it. And the trick is, I'm finally getting off my lazy butt and writing a song as well. I've already written it, but now we're kind of polishing it up, called Fossil Fuel, and finding a way to circle that into the overarching theme.
Okay.
But it's I tell you, Ian is such a huge fan of paleontology that he finds so many creative ways to just keep knocking out these songs. One that really impressed me because of just how much research he did on this was Dino War, which is about these two paleontologists who were both trying to become, reap the benefits of discovering all these new species, right? Mm-hmm. So they were continually like sabotaging each other, and it makes for such an interesting story. It was one that, like, when I first got the lyrics back, I was afraid of, like, oh crap, how long is it going to take me to memorize this? But I got so into the story that I ended up getting off book for that a lot quicker than some of the other ones, honestly. So
that's cool. And I know firsthand that does actually happen, because I was at a convention once and they had a couple of paleontologists there, and he was talking about the field, and it's like, well, you can't just study dinosaurs. You have to study, like, you know, the meat eaters or the plant eaters, you know, pick one. And you can't just study the meat eaters. You have to study, like, just the Allosaurus, and you can't just study the Allosaurus because there's already all these people studying it. You have to study, like, the spine of the Allosaurus, you know, and then by the time you get that specialized, there's one other person in the field who is that specialized with you, and you hate each other.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was about, in this case, I don't know if you know the names offhand or if you've heard any of if you've heard the song, but Edward Cope. And again, this is such a weird muscle memory thing where unless I go through the whole song, it's hard to remember all the details. But self-taught and full of hope, the first man's name was Edward Cope, led by a code of honor he could not avoid. Others held in high regard the Yale scholar O.C. Marsh, who saw his counterpart as someone to exploit. So those were the two.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
What's it like playing at the Corbin Bowl with the, I like live 5 minutes away from that place, and I just noticed they started having bands there recently. What's it?
I liked it more than doing stand-up there, and I'll tell you why.
A bowling alley, basically, right? Yeah.
Well, yes, but at Corbin Bowl they have a whole separate room with a bar and a stage raised stage for musical acts. I'd done stand up there once before, and was just, my God, it was freezing. You know, I don't know if the plan was just to see all the comedians' nipples or what, but it was like something like 40 degrees. It felt like, which for Californians is freezing.
Yeah.
But with Bonehenge, like, you know, there's a shirt, there's a vest, there's the head and all that. So you're much more insulated in that regard. But I liked it a lot. The crowd was really receptive, responsive, both. I almost combined the words in like responsive. And, yeah, just, match made in heaven with the chicken heads. There's a picture, that I got with Carrot towards the end that I really like, where we're just both kind of giving the poses.
That's awesome.
Well, if are you guys playing there again at any point? Man, I'd love to come check it out. And I'm like 5
probably, and something that I've noticed as we've looked for places to play since the pandemic, you know, a lot of places kind of didn't survive the stretch. Right. There's the normal pay to plays in Hollywood, like Whiskey a Go-Go, which we don't really bother with so much. Now I hope they don't listen to this podcast, but
nobody listens to this podcast. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's probably sitting there with like a pennant, like "Yay, Bonehenge," and then he hears me say that. But I'm finding that I guess because it's a college town like Northridge and Encino, there's still a bunch of places. One place I really loved playing at before the quarantine and stuff was Petey's place in Encino, and I was happy I got invited to check out this place called The Last Call because a friend was doing a jam session there, and I was like, oh, okay, this is Petey's place, you know, it's still here. So like that area seems to be good for doing live music. So we're trying to get booked there at some point, and we would love to come back to Corbin Bowl as well.
I wouldn't know. I never go out to see live music anymore. I mean, I play 6-7 times a week in a cover band out in Westlake Village usually. So, but I never go out to the nightclubs, which I should. There's so much stuff out there, but I'm probably missing out tremendously. But you know,
well, you know, you got time. Bucket list, remember?
That's right.
Yeah.
Recurring theme.
Yes, callbacks. I'm trying to throw in here. You know, Zizek's Road.
So where are you guys performing on the 29th?
I want to make sure I get the name right because there's a couple of different video game bars in the Valley part of LA. But that'll be at Player One Arcade Bar. It's over at 5126 Lankershim Boulevard, North Hollywood, California. We're also going to be playing with Ian's other band, Kirby's Dream Band. They do covers of Kirby music, of course. And the Surfle Jerks will be there, along with Bonehenge and the Radioactive Chicken Heads.
The Surfle Jerks. So that's a great
name. Yeah. So it's $12 in advance, 15 at the door. If you go to our Instagram, there's a QR code and such as far as how to get your advance tickets. And that'll be a fun night. I'm missing a wrestling show they wanted to book me on for that evening, but first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the place I recently saw. Wait, you did?
Nope.
No.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah, I went and saw the Flux Capacitors perform there with Bonnie Gordon, and it was really fun. And it's also an arcade, so if you can go there and watch the shows and play video games. So, hooray!
Yeah, I think they're even trying to do something where they have us on the monitors, so it's like you can. I would encourage people to be in the room where we're playing, obviously, but I mean, you can play the Simpsons arcade and also listen to Bonehenge at the same time. So,
well, I'm sure if I go see you guys one time, I'll be a sparkling fan for life.
Thank you, sir. All right, John, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, Counselor Troy from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Hey,
failing that, all across the Marina Sirtis is watching this with a Bonehenge pennant going, what the hell? Uncalled for. You can find our stuff on all the social medias at Bonehenge Band all across the board. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We are on TikTok. We haven't done a ton of content on that just yet, but we're there. So, I mean, if you come to a show and you take some video and you want to tag us, you can do that. And yeah, you can still catch our album on all the places you buy music, one at a time, or you can buy the album. I find that it's more enjoyable if you buy the album twice or 3 times. And when you come to the show, be sure to check out this thing we've been working on. It's a concept I've been working on where it's a shirt in the shape of a lowercase T, a little something I've been trying to get patented called a T-shirt. Mm-hmm. There's a guy who says he's working on it and he'll give me a call back. And, why would you just say that? So, yeah, let me just. I cut the sleeves off mine because I'm, they're heavy, but yeah.
All right, cool. We're going to move on to news and interview the Belle Isle Rats. Are you going to stick around or are you taking off?
Okay, I'll stick around for a while. Why not?
Okay. All right.
If I can remember all the lyrics.
All right, let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
I chug a quart of coffee, then I go kick some ass, and every morning when I wake up, I start my day by making myself a spark plug omelet. Spark plug omelet.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. CHEFUMP.com.
Go tampon, flex your plankton, lick Bo Burnham, Costco Phantom.
Pets with pants on, sexual Reagan, panko, man bun, let's go Brandon.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, the FuMP Volume 94 is now available. Went out to subscribers a few days ago. Features all of the songs from July and August, including I Want to Pound Chuck Tingle by Bad Beth and Beyond, which is what inspired the album cover. Dead Sexy by Dead by 28, which is a photo used on the album cover that Dead by 28 made. Cenobite by Jeff Whitmire, which I think is topical since the new Hellraiser show is starting soon. It also features a video interview with Insane Ian. It is available now on thefump.com and will be appearing soon on Spotify and all the other streaming platforms. And I promise I will not reach into your computers and take it back. The FuMP newsletter went out the other day. This is the September newsletter. Features stories about the FuMP Volume 94, Con on the Cob, featured videos, new releases by the Boobles, and more. If you're not on our mailing list, you can view this online at tiny.cc/FuMP0922 for September of 2022. Tiny.cc/FuMP0922. And speaking of the Boobles special release, I realized I never actually talked about that. So, the Boobles are celebrating Booby Road being Needle Juice Records' 69th release, with a special limited edition bundle and a limited to package of only 69 copies. Booby Road, the more than a handful limited edition package, includes 2 LPs on boob-colored vinyl, exclusive alternate peelable milker cover, hand-applied and numbered by Juan Mellon, double-sided drum heads, tune group slipknots, 12x12 Maxine prints, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot that they offer in this stuff. It is available while supplies last at theboobles.org. So check that out. All right. Luke, anything else before tour dates?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, the Boobles are great.
Yeah.
Go.
Am I going? Oh, okay.
Yes.
So now I just lost the thing I was saying. Okay. So, hey, if you're a person who's interested in going to the Corbin Bowl to see rockin' comedy, well, coming up on October 8th at 9 p.m., the Corbin Bowl presents Rockin' Comedy, featuring sets by me, the Great Luke Ski, as well as TV's Kyle and Linzilla, featuring El Nage. We'll also have stand-up there by Stephanie Santana, Kat Bird, Alec Pritchard, Ryan Talmo, Perry Kurtz, Molly Wiggins, Carrie Van Auken, and Joe Moran. So that is happening at the Corbin Bowl in the Boulevard, 19616 Ventura Boulevard, Tarzana, California, 91356. Saturday, October 8th. The doors open at 8 p.m. The show time is at 9 p.m. They have a full kitchen, full bar, and it is an 18 and over show. So come on out and see us probably do spooky songs because it's October. So also want to mention that other show that details are still impending. The Hollywood Nerd Night Show, featuring also myself and Kyle and Lindsay once again, and a bunch of other nerdy stand-up comics, is happening Thursday, October 20th. I still haven't gotten the venue yet from the person booking it. We've done many shows with him before, so I trust that it's coming. I went and checked his Facebook page, and he's currently promoting a show that's happening literally tonight. So in the next day or two, I'll message him and see if I can get the rest of the details so I can put it on social media. But anyway, just follow me and TV's Kyle on our social media, and once the details are there, y'all will know what they are. I put out a Luke Ski update today, which has many pieces of news, which I'll just quickly remind you of. Marscon 2023, the music guest of honor is Bonnie Gordon, and that's happening in Bloomington, Minnesota, which is in the Twin Cities area, March 10th through 12th, 2023. Go to marsconcomedy.com for the details. Also want to mention, in regards to that, I don't remember if I specifically mentioned this last week, but I have decided to get my act together and put out my 12th full-length comedy music album at Marscon 2023, the title of which is Needlessly Meta. So it will feature my hit song Candy Bars, which was #1 on Dr. Demento's Funny 25 of 2017, as well as the winner of Outstanding Parody Song at the 2018 Logan Awards. It's also going to have my songs The Twilight Zone, I'm Vamber Warrior, Small Round Yoda, and basically everything else you've heard me do, since late 2014. So you'll be able to pick that up on CD at Marscon, and then I will be launching it on my Bandcamp page, at the same time when my concert happens there. So y'all have that to look forward to. Other bits of news, my song Toys is up on my Bandcamp page, so go to lukeski.bandcamp.com to get that. I made a nifty animatic with an audio clip from the Flat 29 podcast, so go to my YouTube page to check that out. I also did a Conroy Cat cartoon once again. This one is part 5 of a 6-part story called The Return Trip, so just go Google D-Tunes Conroy Cat, look for The Return Trip Part 5, and you can see the thing that I storyboarded. And that's about it, other than, the Kyle and Luke Talk About Tunes podcast is at kyleandluke.com. And I'm on a bunch of episodes of Escape from Vault Disney, and you can hear that at escapefromvaultdisney.com or escapefromvaultdisney.libsyn.com. So that's about it.
All right.
I do love me some Ryan Talmo.
Tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. On Thursdays online, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. Also on Thursdays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. On the 2nd on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab with the Consortium of Genius. The weekend of the 6th through the 9th in Richfield, Ohio, we have Con on the Cob, featuring 2D6, Carrie Dalby, me, Devo Spice, Mayor Wirtz, Schaefer the Dark Lord, Toby Danger, and Worm Quartet, plus a whole bunch of other nerdy but not necessarily comedy bands. For more information about that, go to cononthecob.com. On the 7th on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab, featuring the Consortium of Genius and Bad Beth and Beyond. On the 8th in Reading in the UK, the Gothsicles. And on the 8th in Tarzana, California, the Great Luke Ski, TV's Kyle and Linzilla, and Il Neige. All right, birthdays. Coming up on the 5th, Mike Reniker of the Belle Isle Rats. Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you so much.
Hey.
And speaking of the Belle Isle Rats, welcome. Give us a quick intro to this song. We'll give it a listen.
Well, I think the song is pretty self-explanatory. You have a guy named Nathan. He's got a bag, but it's not any bag. It's a resealable bag, probably something like this. If I can get the name on here. Yeah. So, and nobody knows what's in the bag, and nobody wants to know what's in the bag. And that's pretty much the song.
All right. Here is Nathan's Resealable Bag by the Belle Isle Rats.
Nathan's resealable bag. Nobody wants to know what's in it. Nathan's resealable bag. I'm okay with girls, but I got my limits. Nathan's resealable bag. It's wrong, there ain't no other way to spin it. Nathan's resealable bag. Pardon me here, I need just a minute. Really sure, and I might be tripping. Nathan's resealable bag looks to me like maybe it's dripping. Nathan's resealable bag. I'm fine right now, but I could be slipping. Nathan's resealable bag looks like it's oozing out and sticking. Is it a bulging biohazard in a sack? Or some seaweed plankton-based organic snack? A glowing, ghastly, godforsaken sludge? Man, I'm at a loss, you be the judge. Some pasty pill provisions in a pouch? Or assorted odd bits found inside his couch? Whatever it is, he carries it with pride. Is it fine or is it foul? I can't decide. Hit him up, no Nathan. Hit him up, woo! Hit him up, no Nathan. Hit him up, Walter. Check it. Nathan's resealable bag. Everybody's day Nathan about to wreck it. Nathan's resealable bag. People jumping off on the ground, they crashing. Nathan's resealable bag. Nathan just sitting back in his seat laughing.
I think this might be like my favorite music from you guys. Just that it's very funky. I love the hook. It's just such a cool sounding song. And it's weird as shit,
Well,
so I love it.
Yeah.
The piano work is phenomenal.
Weird as shit.
Yeah, it is.
What's that?
It is
I said
definitely one of the weirder ones.
They said the piano work is phenomenal.
The piano solo, it's interesting. That's a friend of mine named Wally Minko, who's he's an amazing player. He was with Tom Jones for many years. He played with Barry Manilow on stage. He was with Pink. He was with En Vogue, and he's a great friend of mine. He lives in Ohio now. He used to live here in LA, but he now lives in Ohio. So I just say, hey, we're working on this song, and I have this idea for like a shredding saloon piano solo. Can you do it? He goes, of course. So I just said it to him, and he actually played twice as long as I intended for him to play, but he did that lick at the end, which I sort of turned into something which I hadn't intended initially. But so he's a great player. I have kind of a funny story about him. I like to tell. You guys know who Jean-Luc Ponty is, the French violinist, like a fusion artist.
I think so.
Look him up, Jean-Luc Ponty. He's very, very huge. He's like a jazz fusion artist. And Tom and I used to listen to him back in Detroit, growing up in like the 70s, early 80s. So I move out here and I become friends with Wally, and Wally gets the Jean-Luc Ponty gig. He's on tour, he's doing albums with them and everything. And so like 10 years later, here I am. Now I'm in the studio, Can-Am Recorders in Tarzana, and I'm actually watching them record this album. It's like 10 years ago, I'm listening to them. Now I'm like hanging out with the keyboard player, watching them record. It was really cool. So anyway, Jean-Luc calls a lunch break. So we're getting ready to go to lunch, and it was always Denny's. I don't know, it was always Denny's. And so we're ready to walk out the door, and Jean-Luc goes, Wally, I need one more solo. Something, I don't know, this could be a while. Wally goes in there, he looks around, roll tape. He plays this most burning first take piano solo, no punch in, no like redos, one take all the way through, amazing. Wow. And then he comes, before he does, he goes, here, wait here at the door, just wait here. He tells me, just wait there. So he comes back to his burning solo, and I just looked at him like, you are a freak. We go to Denny's, and that's the solo that's on the album. It's this album called Storytelling. The song is Pastoral Harmony, and like he just burns it all. Like we would have taken me all afternoon with punching in and finding stuff, putting together a Franken solo. But
so I'm willing to bet I've been to that Denny's.
Yeah,
I'm picturing it. Is it like a couple blocks from where Petey's place was?
Actually, I don't know where Petey's place even is. I don't even know that place. It shows you how out of touch I am with the live scene here, like 5 miles away from my own house.
No, that's fine. It's last call now, but never mind.
Yeah. But I forget which Denny's it was, but it was always Denny's. I'm not even sure why.
This is important to me for some reason.
But
do you know Francine? She works there on Tuesdays. Hell of a goyle.
Yeah. Pizza omelet at Denny's rocked. I don't know if they still make those.
I don't think so.
I can't imagine. They don't even do bacon ollie anymore, and that was just a license to print money.
Wow.
Remember that when you get a bacon sundae?
No.
Instead of caramel syrup, it was maple syrup, and it was actually really good because it was mixing sweet and savory.
That just sounds like it's wrong in all the right ways.
No, I mean, yeah, okay. I should have let you finish your sentence. My bad. I was disagreeing before you made your full point.
That's right. Well, full sentence usually could reveal secrets you weren't expecting.
Yeah. Those are usually some of the best jokes where, like, you think the sentence is done. They add one more word and it changes everything. I love those.
But as far as the rest of the song, I mean, it just came about. I was just like goofing around with some sounds on Omnisphere or something like that. And then, going into the river of stupidity, just a level of below the subconscious mind. And I came up with Nathan's Resealable Bag. Why?
I was just going to ask, like, why Nathan's Resealable Bag? Where did that come from?
Kevin's was in use already.
No, I mean, it's like I've explained before in the show, you guys probably have the same thing. There's just like a river of stupidity running just below the level of my subconscious mind. I can dip in there at any time and something stupid will come up. And that's what came up that day. Nathan's Resealable Bag. And, I kind of like the idea. Remember Pulp Fiction? Like they have that case and you never really know what's in it. They open it up and you assume it's gold because it's got to go, but you never really find out what it is. So I kind of put that same thing into Nathan's Resealable Bag. We don't really know what's in the bag. You never find out what's in the bag. all you know is that it's horrible, and Nathan's proud of it because it's making people jump off of planes, and he likes it. So
yeah, it's like one of those classic comedy bits, like The Thing. Like you never find out what the is, you know?
Right. Yeah. So
did you ever do like
maybe The Thing is what's
songs?
in the bag? Huh? Maybe The Thing in the bag? Maybe. Anyway.
You never know. You could, it could be whatever you want. It's an interpretive aspect to it, So,
sorry, John. What were you saying?
Oh, just like it reminds me of, and in a good way, mind you. Don't misunderstand me, but like when I used to do improv, like one of my favorite things was being able to just do the singing portion. I used to be pretty good at like coming up with songs on the fly, not writing out perfect ones, but the improv thing was fun. So it kind of strikes me as like somebody be like, okay, and we need something for this song to be about. Resealable bag. Okay, we need a name. So yeah, it kind of has that kind of playful energy to it, which I like a lot.
And we had a lot of fun recording it because Tom just locked into that groove, and as usual, he came up with stuff on the drums that I had never anticipated that made the song a lot better. So it was just, we had fun doing that one, didn't we?
Hell yeah. And we got a nice, the sound is really good on that one.
We did that almost a year ago now. Like I said, we get together. It's been once every 2 years now that we get together and record, whereas it used to be every year. Because, I'm in LA, he's in Washington. So probably another year from now, we'll do another batch. But
well, I mean, Tom can always just ride his bike down to visit.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then, that's not out of the question. I mean, how long would, if you were to ride your bike, what would that be? Like a month?
Oh, yeah, that would be a long one. And I
Walla
want to take
Walla
in the
to
sights too. I want to
Northridge.
make it not all about the riding, make it the travel.
What about just to Zizek's Road?
Yeah, I'll pick up at Zizek's. There we go.
Okay.
That'd be a good stopping point.
We used to hang in Vegas back in the early days of the Belle Rats. We just hang out. We'd go out one night carousing in Vegas. We'd go to the top of the stratosphere. One night we'd go do what we called our obscene restaurant indulgence. We'd just go to some shishi place and not care about the money and just have great food and scotch,
Yeah.
Not anymore, but those days we did.
One time we had a goal. We were going to find who had the best Guinness pour in Vegas.
And where was that? Do you remember?
I don't remember all the places, but we just went searching. We said, my good man, give us a Guinness. And we were just looking for who had the best possible Guinness. Not biggest. I mean, just the finest tasting, perfect Guinness pour.
And wasn't there like an Irish pub? Like they didn't go full on with the gimmick, but I want to say just a block away from the Fremont Experience, there's a bar that I want to say has like a 4-leaf clover outside and neon lights.
That'd be a good sign.
Yeah. Whatever it was a cool little spot.
There's all kinds of Irish pubs there. There's one like where my mother-in-law, her house is in Summerlin, and there's a place called the Pint right around the corner, which is an Irish pub. Did you ever go to the top of the Stratosphere? They have a lounge up there.
Yeah,
they used to have a roller coaster that usually actually went around the top of that thing.
Is it not still there?
No, they took that down. I never got to go on it. I'm such a roller coaster fiend. I've actually never been to Vegas, and I want to go just to go on some of the coasters they have.
I remember, they had some ridiculously expensive attractions. Like you could bungee jump off of it for like about $100, and they would film you. Yeah. And they have like a spa up there with like mineral hot tubs and everything. It's a pretty neat little spot.
But yeah, they took down that roller coaster. They do have some other rides at the top of the Stratosphere, though, like one that like hangs you off the edge and spins around while you're looking down.
That one's ridiculous.
Well,
that's just Heart Attack City.
They have one called the Big Shot, which Tom and I actually did years ago. It's like a reverse bungee. You sit down on this cart, and then there's this potential energy from this, like basically a big rubber band, and then they let it go, and you just shoot up this big spire.
You guys did that?
Yeah, we did.
Do you have video of that?
No, this is before everyone had videos on their cameras. This is probably early 2000s. God. But the worst feeling was like, I'm sitting in this thing and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm going. That's it. Whether I like it or not, I'm going.
They also have the zip lines. I mean, this isn't on the same level, obviously, but there's the zip lines over the Fremont as well, which is another. Yeah. I like that they have. It's not just drinking and losing your money. There's a couple of other things to do.
Yeah. But the thing about having a drink at the lounge, when they had the roller coaster, every so often when the roller coaster got to a certain point, it would like literally shake the whole building, and you'd be sitting there, and I could never completely relax up there because about every 45 seconds, you went through this building is like literally.
Yeah. What a great ride to put in where you know a lot of people are doing cocaine. What can go wrong?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably why they took it down.
Oh my god!
I guess so. Other than the fact that it was way up there, in every other respect, it was kind of a dog. It didn't go very fast, and the curves weren't very.
Yeah.
It was just
so they trick you in that regard. It's quite the swerve.
Really?
Well, because they lure you in like this isn't so big a deal. I know we're high up, and then you got that going on, and then you poop yourself.
Well, then there's one that kind of tilts, and then the car goes out like it's just one piece of track that's straight.
It's the one he mentioned, that like kind of tips over and goes back.
Yeah. No, thank you.
I a couple years back, I had a girlfriend that wanted to do a vacation out there, and I said, "Cool. I don't want to just gamble and drink. Can we find some other stuff to do?" We went to there was like a haunted museum. I don't know if any of you guys have been to that, but that's a trip.
No.
There's like, you go on this tour. It's just a collection of haunted artifacts and stuff. And there's actually like 3 that there's like a doll that's possessed. And they said, look, if anybody doesn't want to go on this part of the tour, that's fine. I guess it's killed people. Like it's a whole thing. It's amazing what they fit into this town.
Sounds like a Mr. Ballin episode. You guys ever watch Mr. Ballin?
No.
Oh, check him out. Balle, and he tells all these stories just like that. This guy's like a master storyteller. He's got like 6 million followers on YouTube, and he's got tons of content. And I've been binge watching him lately. I watched one thing, but they're all true stories, like people getting lost in the woods, or people seeing weird things that are unexplained, people who go missing, or people who die in horrible freak accidents. Check them out. I mean, you tell
like being on a roller coaster at the top of a very tall building.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
In Las Vegas.
I don't know that I'd call that a freak accident. I think I'd kind of, say like,
that's a little bit more expected.
Yeah,
like how'd he die?
What
he went on this roller coaster that goes over the edge several flights up. Oh, well, that tracks.
But he has stories like that. Like he has a story of a woman who was working in an auto plant, and they had this robot, and the robot stopped working, and she went in there to fix it, and they didn't have the right protocol. So when they got it working again, she was in there, and this robot just like impaled her in the back with these 2 big prongs.
Yikes.
Just wonderful, pleasant stuff like that.
It all started with "Hey Alexa."
Right.
Yeah. Mr. Ballin, check him out. I discovered him about 2 weeks ago. I've pretty much watched every one of them so far.
That woke up my tablet.
Actually, it woke up my printer somehow. But actually, that sounds really interesting. I am going to look that up.
It is. Garen, you'll check them out. It's like I've been obsessed with it lately. So
cool. So we got way off topic. Was there anything else you wanted to say about the song?
Not really. I mean, I had so little time to do Belle Isle Rats. I've been wanting to do videos for the last couple of songs we did, and just haven't had time for whatever reason. And
I really liked the video you guys did for a spark plug omelet. We used it in the promo, as you heard a few minutes ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was the last one we did, but I still want to do one for Canadian geese with Tom and I heads on top of geese. So
yes.
So
definitely do that. Please do that.
Oh yeah, we're going to. It's just finding the time with a kid and other jobs and gigs and blah 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 and whatever. We're all busy. Everyone's got their thing they're doing. So that's about it.
All right. So do you guys have anything you'd like to plug?
Our standard nothing. Just BelleIsleRats.com. Our songs are up there. We're on all the major music streaming platforms, and one of these days we're going to find something to actually promote. I know the first time we were on the show, we did our coffee mug promotion, and the guy who won it lived in Canada, and I hadn't anticipated the incredible shipping cost to send this guy a coffee. I think it cost me like $45 to send this guy a $5 Belle Isle Rats coffee mug.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I didn't do that one again. So, anyway, that's about it.
Yeah, we're working on a Belle Isle Rats brand of line trimmers.
And other garden tools, yeah.
Yeah. No, just line trimmers.
Oh yeah. You want to keep it simple, like the In-N-Out Burger menu, not too much.
Wagner, look out. They're coming for your profit margins.
That's right. There's a new kid in town.
Take that, John Deere.
All right.
These things are too much fun.
Let's do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback. You know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback. Feedback.
Alvarant wrote, has anyone else been unable to download Caleb Kaz's song on the sideshow? It's not working for me. That song, unfortunately, has a space in the file name, and we normally reject those ahead of time for this particular reason, because not everyone can download them. But this one snuck through. So if you can't get it working, let me know, and I'll just download it and email it to you. But if that goes not just for Alvarant, but for anyone else. It's just the spaces break the RSS feed, and sometimes the download link gets broken. But so if anyone else is having trouble with this song, let me know and I'll send it to you. And that is it. That's all the feedback we got for this week. So
teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah. Tomorrow's song is by Art Paul Slosher.
Woohoo!
And Tuesday's song
is not yet posted.
And the Spotify playlist topic, I was supposed to do zombies last week, but with the trip to Vermont and the busted tire and stuff, I just forgot to update it. So I'm going to update the playlist tonight for zombies. So next week's playlist will be zombies. And we can, sorry for the 3 people who listened to that. All right. That's all we got for this show. So, John, plug yourself one more time.
Yes, it's at Bonehenge Band if you want to follow Bonehenge. And by the way, those lyrics were his arms didn't have much reach, so he grabbed her tight with his giant teeth.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was such a callback from like an hour ago. But if anybody wants to follow me, what medication are you on? I'm at King John Allen on Twitter, at the John Allen on Instagram, and thank you very much for having me and for promoting Bonehenge. That's really cool of you.
Thanks for coming on. It's been great. Rats, plug yourself one more time.
CarlisleRats.com. Find us on any of the musical streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, all the others. I want to say one thing real quick before we go. I noticed, when our song on your site, I'm looking, 7 comments. People must really like it. But all the comments are like, "Hey, I can't download the thing," and
tech support,
like technical something. Like, oh, okay. Just don't look too hard. Look, we got some real feedback.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, man. Hey, man, I totally get it.
We've had a problem with on the FuMP for about 3 weeks now, where uploads fail. Artists, when they go to upload the WAV files, because what's supposed to happen is you upload the WAV file, just for the people at home, you upload the WAV file to the server, it sends it to onlineconvert.com, converts it to 2 MP3s and an OGG Vorbis, and then those files get downloaded. And it's worked fine for 4 years. And all of a sudden, it stopped working. And I don't know why. So I've been on tech support with 2 different hosts and the online convert, and I think we have it narrowed down to where the problem is happening, and we almost might be at a solution, but it's driving me nuts. So hopefully soon we'll get that worked out.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Mine? Thank you. This is a Worm Quartet shirt, or not a Worm Quartet, Pac-Man shirt. I always conflate the Pac-Man shirt with the thing.
In spite of that, thanks for doing this and giving all of us comedic artists a venue and a place to post our stuff. It's just awesome, and we actually get paid.
You do.
I mean, God. A couple times a year, I get a PayPal thing that's saying for a couple of bucks. It's like, this is great.
You can go to Denny's.
Yeah. Buy me
Which Denny's though? That's important. Remember, we gotta iron that out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll trade emails, and then when you remember which one, just
all right.
Hit me up.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski.
And there's other people.
I'm John.
And the rest.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
"Me Grimlock not kisser, me Grimlock king."
Nice.